morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Coaching Club Cafe Live. And I am Anita DeFrancesco, broadcasting to you live here from Philadelphia. And I want to welcome you all on this Monday morning. It is 10 o'clock East Coast time, and we're also on the West Coast Pacific at 7 a.m. Welcome to Coaching Club Cafe Live. I'm Anita D. So, let's talk about, my theme is Discover Joyous Love. And that can be a very broad topic, a very broad theme. And it may not make sense to some people, because if something doesn't make sense to you, it means that you're numb in your senses, in your body. A lot of things make sense when we feel. So, discovering joyous love is a broad topic about how to have a better life and how to have better relationships. So one of the things that help us to become more loving and more connected to life is the relationship to the self-relationship, self-love. And one of the things I want to talk today is about some of the things that are toxic, perhaps in your relationship with your beloved or anyone. First, I want to start with the quality of your life determines the quality of your relationships. What is your life about? What's going on in your life? Are you grounded? Are you feeling your feelings? Are you wanting desire? Are you wanting more passion in your love life? So the quality of your life and how much you care and love about yourself determines what the quality of your relationships will be. And your relationships of any sort could be romance, it could be friendship, it could be relationships with your parents, relationships with your children, relationships with your coworkers. So that being said, relationships are at an all-time evolutionary changing, moment by moment. I mean, the planet, the life, and our human condition is in a constant change. So with all of this happening, your relationships are going to require a lot more adjustment, adaptation, a lot more paying attention to what's going on with yourself, with your relationships around you, with where you're living, what you're doing. Let me say good morning to everyone. Hi, Randolph. Hi, Randolph. Versha. Hi, Versha. And Ciara, hello. And Lloyd. See, I have to put my glasses on to read. So I'm seeing if I could do this without the glasses. But so a couple things I wanted to talk about today. We have this massive shift going on right under our feet happening, norms under our feet changing completely. We're being dictated by everything except our own self. So we're in a time where we need to just come back in and start to connect to the roots of the body, connecting to what's really going on. So in relationships, there's a lot of different factors that take place. You have power, you have control, you have closeness, you have care, you have respect and recognition, and we're going somewhere in between all of this. So power and control is what I wanted to talk about today. When you're in a relationship, and these are some of the toxic behaviors that take us over, or at least put a red flag into our relationships, and one of them being control. And let's talk about that. Does anyone feel like in your relationship you have too much control or you're being controlled? And what does it say about you when you're allowing yourself to be controlled, when you're controlled? So what I'm saying is that if you're the type of person that needs to control someone, it means that you're not feeling fully connected to yourself and you're reaching out to someone else to find what that place is within you. So you may not realize that you're controlling your partner, and your partner may be feeling pressured, or they may not have that voice to open up and say, hey, this relationship is too obsessive, it's too compulsive, it's too controlling. What do I do? And they may not have the voice to say that because they may not want to hurt you because they love you. But how can you have good sex if you have all this control? Think about that. If there's control in a relationship, there's going to be control at different levels, at different stages. So what I want you to do, if in your relationship you're either giving the control or receiving too much control from your partner, is to take a step back. Let's see what we have here. Sometimes control can be delusional, and we might not even connect to that part of why we're controlling. There's other factors in our life, experiences that we've had, say from childhood, that we haven't had that voice to speak up. So now we want to connect to our ego. So if you want to have a good relationship, you need to dissolve with the ego. And one of the things is to encourage honesty in your partner. Encourage your partner to open up and express their feelings. Encourage your partner to be honest, to talk about what's really going on. So this is one of the common toxic behaviors that are present in relationships. And this can put a red flag on a lot of the intimacy to follow forward with that. The next thing I want to talk about is, the unhappiness in a relationship. If your partner is unhappy, sometimes people, like that old saying, misery wants company. And if you're with someone that is unhappy, it doesn't mean you have to be unhappy. And it doesn't mean that you have to fix that person either. So this part of being unhappy in the relationship, it may not be because of the relationship. The person may be unhappy because of the job they have, or because of the problems they have, or the different challenges they have in their own personal life. So it's really up to each other in a relationship to support one another as far as helping each other to become a better person, helping each other to see the bliss, to feel the bliss. So what I'm going to recommend is, hello, Randolph. Hello, Sky. Hello, Lloyd. Hello, Ciara. Hello, Versha. It's Monday morning here. We're live, Coaching Club Cafe live. And I am Anita D. And here I am in Philadelphia broadcasting to you this morning. And we're supposed to be having some snow this week. So just in time for Thanksgiving. But there's so many different things. Again, getting back to this relationship thing, the power and the control is what's really going to put that relationship not to last long. It's going to put the damper on the relationship. So coming back to the unhappiness, it's not your job. So if your partner is negative and insecure, but you love each other and you've been together, it's not always that one is going to be positive and one is going to be negative. But if that factor is there and your partner is having a lot more challenges, or they haven't really worked on themselves, one of the things you can do is bring them, support them in what it is they're dealing with, and bring them to some help, like calling us for coaching. That's one start. To give us a call and we can guide you through and give you some tools to work with to help you to categorize your thinking, to let go of some of these negative things that are blocking your bliss. And a lot of time there's insecurity there. There's a lot of anxiety. People have anxiety because they are overloaded with things, overloaded with thoughts. So how can you be, how can you really have that smooth, fluid, free-flowing love when you're overloaded with a lot of different things that bring you down? So this is one of the things that we can help you with if there's the unhappiness there, because happiness is a choice, and we're always going to have challenges in life. There's going to be anxiety. There's going to be things there's always something that has to be done. The computer's going to break down, but happiness is a choice, and that choice ferments, and you cultivate that choice in you, but you just bring that into all of the things, all of your challenges that you're working with. Okay, good morning, Amanda. How's everyone? You're tuned in to Coaching Club Cafe Live. I'm Anita D, and I'm broadcasting to you from Philadelphia this morning. I'm just kind of winging it today because this topic of relationships is is very broad, and there's just so much that is happening right now around love, intimacy, sexuality, relationships, congruency, a big thing. I mean, I find that couples, they love to bicker, but sometimes this bickering, then it turns into a lot of disagreeing on everything, and it becomes an addiction to the senses. So I believe that arguing is an addiction to your senses. And if you argue too much, good argument is good, don't get me wrong. But when we continually discharge, and you always feel that discharge coming from your body, where you're jumping up to catch that moment of anger, what it is that, again, I can help you in coaching you to relieve some of this discharging personality, this discharging character, where you're always wanting to have this argument, because arguing can be an addiction, and there really is no argument half the time. It's just that your body is used to that type of feeling. So we can change that. And when we break those patterns within our body, we have a smoother, longer lasting love, and life can be more blissful again as we go back there. Sometimes too much arguing can lead to the dysfunctional relationship where you're, where you're constantly coming together, breaking up, coming back together. And sometimes it's not about breaking up and splitting up and separating. What it is just about creating space between you and knowing that you have to honor the space that's in your own sacred area. And once you can create this space, I'm a Tantra teacher, so founder of Tantra Wisdom, but once you can create your space, your sacred space, that's the place you come back to and work with your own feelings, and then you and your partner meet again. There's no need to break up for a month and not talk and then come back together. You need to stay together and find your own time and space within your own being. So I want to get back to, let's see here. Anybody have any questions? I'd love to answer some questions. If somebody has a relationship question that you want to, pose here on the comments, I would love to. Good morning, Cynthia and Amanda and Paula. I'd love to, and Randolph, you're there, Randolph Pitts, I see you. And I'd love to help somebody, with a question. And good morning, Jen. If you have anything that you, an issue you might be dealing with at this time. So again, the unhappiness part is something that you need to support your partner with. Instead of dismissing your partner, you need to have patience with each other. And one thing I notice couples do, they condescend each other. And this condescending always makes one feel more up and the other one more down. So it's more like this passive-aggressive kind of behavior that happens. And I think that if we really work on ourselves, again, your relation, the quality of your life, it determines the quality of your relationships. And if you continue to work on yourself, you won't have to have this feeling of you want to be better than your partner. Your partner and you are a team. But I see this condescending going on a lot in relationships. And it bothers me because I almost feel terrible for the other person that's just the more passive one in the relationship, that they just don't know what to do. Jealousy. Now, jealousy, there's many forms of jealousy, but jealousy of your partner's successes in life. What your partner is, maybe your partner makes more money than you. Maybe your partner is, let's see here. We have everyone. Good morning. Maybe your partner has a better body than you. They work out and their body's more in shape. It doesn't mean that you should be jealous of these things. You should actually admire your partner for the things they do. And the more you admire someone, the better you become about yourself. So admiration, appreciation, and respect to a beloved or any partner or anyone around you. Jealousy is really doesn't do anything for you. And what we can do is admire to be like someone else, or to become better about ourselves. Take a look at what you're missing inside. And then the passive-aggressive behavior, you're finding a place, when you have this passive and aggressiveness and this anger, you're finding a place to spew your anger onto your partner. And one thing that I'm really not liking is that when people take their angers out and they transfer and they project. So some things could be like, you could be late for something and it could be circumstantial, and someone else could be late for something and because they're dysfunctional. So couples go back and forth with all of this kind of thing that, oh, you're so wrong and I'm so right. But some people just have circumstantial things, while the other one just deals with, that they're not together. And so this constant bickering back and forth is something that we really need to look at in our relationships. We need to open up to this higher power. We need to connect to the love inside and really respect and accept your partner the way they are. If they are late, oh well, maybe they are, not so organized as you are. Remember, you're not going to be, if you're too much alike, it's not going to work. You have to have those differences. And they're the differences that I want you to tap into. The differences I want you to tap into to learn how to adjust and adapt and stop putting each other down and stop, finding that smooth congruency. But the key is acceptance. But we always want to run to our ego. We always want to run to these addictions that live in our body. That's why I want to work with you, to help you to find that smooth path, to let go of patterns and bring out that hidden voice that's there. And then another, stop advocating in the toxic conversations. And sometimes we just fall into that. We advocate for it. And we even talk about it to other people of how toxic your life is, and you just continually go on in this whole circle of toxicity. And so that's another thing to open up to and start to just let go of this type of thinking, we'll say. Good morning, everyone. Paula, Amanda. I don't know if Randolph's still there. I don't know if these comments, they come and go here. But yes, you're listening to Coaching Club Cafe Live, and I'm Anita D. reporting to you from Philadelphia here, and we're just talking about relationships. My theme is Discover Joyous Love. There's so many ways to discover love, but one of the things is you got to get into your body, because again, the quality of your life determines the quality of your relationships and all of your relationships out there. The relationship you have with your grandparents, the relationships you have with your children, your coworkers, anyone. So what is quality of your life? If you're an angry person, you have sort of addictive type character, and you have denial, and you like to control, and you want to live in your ego. It's so painful to live in the ego, because it's painful because you're not feeling the love in the body. So the ego is painful. We need our ego, but we don't need it all the time. And the goal that I would be teaching you, or want to teach you, is how to get into your body, how to open up to this space that allows you to go in, take control, and say, hey, I'm a person, and hey, here I am. And what is it that I desire? What is it that I want for myself? What is it that is going to help me to be happy? So one key is to be happy, but that is probably too broad a term, to be happy, because that involves loving yourself more. Anyway, good morning, everyone. If anyone have anything they wanted to pose a question here about something that they are dealing with right now in your relationship, I can possibly help you, or you can give a call to the number. You can go to the website. This is Coaching Club Cafe Live. I'm Anita D, and our theme is Discover Joyous Love. Let's see what else here I have for you. I'm sort of winging it with my, this obsessiveness is like about an attachment. When you're overly attached to someone, it means that you're needy. And I've been dealing with some people that have, they're wonderful, beautiful people, and they just want to be loved. And love, others. But what's happening is that they have what they call this attachment. Okay, I'll get to your question in a moment, Randolph. What are the keys to maintaining? Okay, so what I'm finding is that people overly attach because they think that maybe they had a loss in their life. Maybe their parents were divorced, or maybe their parents died when they were younger, and they didn't have this great opportunity to be raised perfectly by two parents. And no one's raised perfectly, but they had a loss. So if you have a loss, you can't expect to find the mommy and daddy love in your romantic love. Your partner and you are the love for each other, but some people try to find the losses by trying to get the mommy and daddy love that they missed out on from a lover. And this creates what we call this attachment, this obsessiveness. And that pushes the partner away. And then the person who's alone and in need becomes even sicker because they can't deal with being alone, and why don't people love them when they have so much love to give. So it's this attachment thing. You have to start to look at yourself and work on yourself, and find there's a void. We all have a void, but to find a place to take this loss that you have and work on it, and reparent yourself, and dig deep into that inner child and connect to that inner child and become stronger. That's what I do. Randolph, question. What are the keys to maintaining, achieving intimacy in a relationship? That's a big question. What are the keys to maintaining, achieving intimacy in a relationship? Okay, the biggest one is communication. If you do not communicate with your partner, and I have a lot of couples that I'm working with in communication lately, they have really a solid relationship and they're together, but they just feel like they don't communicate. And there's many levels to communicate. You have emotional communication, you have sexual communication, you have just communication in general with each other. So allowing yourself to, again, find the voice. My phone rang. See, that's what happens when you do this on the cell phone. Bring up the right time to find that space and time with your partner to sit down and communicate and talk about what it is that you want to talk about. But be mindful that your partner may be in denial about certain subject that you want to talk about. So what I'm going to ask you to do is make a list. Take a notepad and write down the things that are important to you that you need to discuss. And make sure you complete that list, and each and every one that you can say at the end, you can put that checkpoint. So communication is one. And again, beside the communication, I would say start your communication emotionally first. And then the bedroom, there's a whole nother communication. We'll talk about that another time. Keys to maintaining intimacy in a relationship is intention, intention, giving your partner this attention that sometimes, we're all little children. We all have this inner child in us, and the inner child jumps out and says, hey, don't forget me, because a lot of us have some losses. We didn't get all the attention that we wanted as a child. So a lot of time we have these losses that kind of surface as we become an adult. And once we can learn how to honor the voice from your partner, opening up to that voice, giving your partner attention, holding space, being present for someone, allow that person to say what it is that they want without interrupting, without criticizing them. Because this criticism, it just goes too far. It's closing them down. But if you allow your partner to open up and talk and express and give them that attention, hold the space, then your relationship will be better because you are supporting them for you together. So just cut out with the too much criticism. Another key to intimacy is appreciation. How much do you appreciate your partner? Or how much do you show the appreciation with words and respect? The respect is so important. It is absolutely one of the keys to maintaining intimacy in a relationship. If you have that respect outside the bedroom, when you get to the bedroom, you will have much more reverence. you're much more honoring with each other. And there is this courting thing that should be going on in a relationship throughout, no matter how long you're together, not only in the beginning of a relationship, but throughout the relationship as you continue to get more connected as you continue to get deeper into your relationship as time goes on, you'll see that when you maintain and cultivate respect, that things can only get better. I hope I answered some of your questions there, Randolph. Thank you for that question about the keys to maintaining, achieving intimacy in a relationship. So keeping the passion alive. How do you keep that alive? You work on your breath. Breath is a key to stress relief, anxiety relief. Breathing is a lot of working on yourself. What can you find today to work on yourself about? Again, we're going through a massive shift in the world right now with relationships, with people, with everything. And it's just, we're just being bombarded with rules and circumstances and different things like that. So let's see what else I want to talk. Anybody? Hi, Venus. Hi, Jen. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia Ryan and Cynthia Randolph. Let's see. Okay, so boundaries is another key to maintaining and achieving intimacy in a relationship. Some of your boundaries are, boundaries are great to have, but you want to have healthy boundaries. You want to have boundaries that are not a wall, not something that is going to keep you far away, but something that is going to be engaging, that you can tap into and say, hey, no, or yes. You don't have to really build a wall. You just have to have some healthy, loving boundaries that help you get through the day, that help you get through your relationships with all kinds of people out there. So let's see what else. I'm going to almost be finished here with you. You're listening to Coaching Club Cafe Live. I'm Anita D, and I'm broadcasting to you from Philadelphia this morning. As we go on, we'll have different topics weekly, or if people want to call in, or at least in the comments, questions about things that might be going on presently in your own relationship. And also, if you want to be coached by me, you can call the number, go to the Coaching Club Cafe Live or coachingclubcafe.com website, and you can find me there, and I'll be glad to give you our coaching services are on the telephone. So we'll be, one-on-one on the telephone, and we'll be able to walk you through if it's something you have urgency that you want to talk about, or something that has been going on a while in your relationship and you need some. But all in all, I'm going to leave you all with discover joyous love today in any way. So what I want you to do is, one thing today is to just see if you could start to love. Just loving something that you do, whatever it is. I know you'll probably have a lot of errands to do this week because you have Thanksgiving coming, and it might seem very stressful. And so see if you could just love what you're doing for this week. And I'll just leave you with that. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Anita D, Coaching Club Cafe Live here, and you can connect with us later. Thank you.